Upon hearing about Bohol, most people would think about the world-famous chocolate hills and home to the Philippine Tertiary as its attraction. But the marvelous 1001 nature-perfected conic hills aren't all there is. Did you know that the people of Bohol are said to be the descendants of the last group of inhabitants who settled in the Philippines called Pintados or the Tattooed Ones? Before the Spaniards arrived in 1521, Boholanos already had a culture of their own as evidenced by the artifacts dug at Mansasa Tagbilaran and in Dawes and Panglao using designs during the Ming Dynasty. When the Spaniards came in 1565, the conqueror Miguel Lopez de Legazpi arrived in Bohol seeking spices and gold. After convincing the native chieftains that they were not Portuguese, this pact was signified with a blood contact between the two men. This event, called the Sandugo or One Blood, which is celebrated in Bohol every year during the Sandugo Festival. This marked the beginning of Spanish colonization on the island. Under the Spaniards, Bohol has new identity. Beautiful and extravagant churches are built that soon spread throughout the island. The Boholanos' pagan ways of worship changed into the establishments of Catholicism, a Christian devotion of prayer and mass. By 1600s, almost the entire island was Christianized through the system of reduction and bajo de campana, which mandated the homes had to be built within the church bell's sound. However, the new religion was not accepted by all. Many Boholanos maintained the desire to be free from the grasp of their colonizers. One was Tamblot, a Babaylan or native priest who wanted Bohol to return to the old religion, and Francisco de Gojoy, a cabeza de barangay whose revolt lasted for 85 years and 8 months. After the rebellion ended in August 1829, improvement in the economic life of the Philippines were felt in Bohol. In 1854, Bohol became a politico-military district separate from Cebu, and the town of Tagbilaran was designated capital of the new province. Public structures, roads, and bridges were built in Bohol. As a result of the 1863 Educational Decree of Queen Isabel II, stone buildings were erected as schools for boys and girls in almost all towns of Bohol. As Spanish colonial rule ended, a temporary government was formed. The Gobierno de Canton, which was recognized by the Philippine Republic based in Malolos, functioned from 1899 to March 1900s when American troops arrived. Boholanos, led by Colonel Pedro Samson, resisted but fell under the better equipped and more powerful Americans. The Americans changed the educational system to suit to their own standards. They built new schools which taught their culture and language. Young and bright Boholanos studied in the United States through the pensionado system. The economy also improved as more public infrastructure was raised and huge tracts of land were opened to homesteading. However, peace was rattled when the Japanese Imperial Army landed May 17, 1942. It is 3 years of terror, death, and disruption followed. The Boholanos who resisted the Japanese formed a civil government and their own military unit, the Bohol Area Command under Ismael Ingeniero. The province was officially liberated by the Americans in late March 1945. After liberation, Boholanos wanted to restore their previous way of life, but under the Republic, Bohol stagnated. The assumption of its homegrown son, Carlos P. Garcia, to the presidency in 1957 hardly helped the province's condition. At most, he gave the Boholanos a sense of pride so crucial at the time. Starting in the 1950s, the locals moved to the other surrounding islands in search of better opportunities. In the mid-90s, things started to look brighter for Bohol due to the aggressive local government initiatives to promote tourism and business on the island province. Today, Bohol is known as God's little paradise that has preserved its natural and cultural treasures, full of natural and man-made wonders, exotic wildlife, and pristine white sand beaches. Bohol continues to be a prime tourist destination.